Living on a cruise ship full-time. Sounds perfect, right? But what if I told you there's a side of this lifestyle that could destroy your mental health, drain your bank account, and leave you more isolated than ever before? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will shock you. Picture this: no mortgage, no utility bills, no cooking or cleaning, just endless ocean views, gourmet meals, and waking up in a different paradise every week. That's what they sell you. That's the fantasy. But here's what nobody tells you. Behind those Instagram-perfect sunset photos lies a reality so harsh that most people quit within the first year. I've interviewed dozens of long-term cruise residents, spoken with crew members who've seen it all, and uncovered the truth that cruise lines desperately want to keep hidden. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this dream lifestyle becomes a nightmare for most people who try it. And trust me, the 10th revelation will completely change how you see cruise living forever. Point 1. The hidden costs. Let's start with money, because this is where the illusion begins to crack. You've probably seen the headlines: live on a cruise ship for less than rent. They'll tell you it costs $3,000 a month, maybe $100 a night. Sounds like a steal compared to city apartments, right? It's wrong. Here's the trap nobody warns you about. Every single thing on that ship is designed to extract more money from you. And I mean everything. Want Wi-Fi to video call your family? That's $30 per day. Need to do laundry? $5 per shirt, $8 for pants. Fancy a cocktail by the pool? $15 each, and they add up fast. Shore excursions? Easily $100 to $300 per port. But here's the sneaky part. You never see cash changing hands. Everything goes on your cruise card. Tap, tap, tap. By the end of the month, people who budgeted $3,000 are staring at bills of $7,000 or even $8,000. One couple I spoke with went bankrupt after just 8 months. They thought they were being careful, but the small charges became an avalanche. The dream turned into a financial nightmare they couldn't escape. And here's something that'll make your blood run cold. You can't just cut back like you would on land. You're trapped on that ship. The expenses don't stop. Point 2. The cabin prison. Now, let's talk about where you'll actually live. And this is where reality hits hardest. Forget those balcony suites you see in the brochures. Unless you're a millionaire, you'll be living in an interior cabin. No windows, no natural light, just 4 walls closing in on you. How small are we talking? About 150 square feet. That's smaller than most prison cells. I'm not exaggerating, I've checked. Your entire life, your bed, your clothes, your workspace, your bathroom, all crammed into a space the size of a walk-in closet. And the walls? Paper thin. You'll hear everything. Your neighbor's TV, their arguments, their snoring, everything. But here's what broke one resident I interviewed: the smell. She said after 3 months, she couldn't get the stale air out of her mind. No fresh breeze, no open windows, just recycled air that smells like cleaning products and other people's lives. And storage? Forget about it. You'll need to become a minimalist whether you want to or not. 1 suitcase of clothes, a laptop, maybe a few books. That's your entire existence now. One man told me it felt like living in a coffin that rocked back and forth. He lasted 4 months before the claustrophobia drove him to therapy. Point 3. The social isolation paradox. Here's the part that surprises people most. You'd think being surrounded by thousands of people would mean you'd never be lonely, right? It's actually the opposite. Imagine making friends with a couple over dinner. You laugh, share stories, maybe explore a port together. You feel connected. Then Saturday arrives and they're gone. Forever. You'll never see them again. Now repeat that cycle every single week, for months, for years. It's like emotional speed dating that never ends. You're constantly investing in friendships that have an expiration date stamped on them from day one. And the permanent residents? They're mostly retirees in their 70s and 80s. If you're younger, if you want to talk about careers or raising kids or modern technology, good luck finding your tribe. One 45-year-old woman described it perfectly. It's like being stuck in a retirement home where everyone else gets to leave, but you never do. But here's the darkest part. You're also cut off from real life. No popping over to your best friend's house. No family dinners. No running into old friends at the grocery store. Your entire world becomes this floating box, and everyone in it is temporary except you. Psychologists have a term for this: chronic transient syndrome, and it can seriously damage your mental health. Point 4. The routine nightmare. Let me paint you a picture of what month 3 looks like. You wake up, same ceiling, same cramped cabin. You head to the buffet, same food, same layout. You've memorized which tray has the soggy bacon, which corner has the freshest fruit. Evening comes, there's a show, but you've seen it twice already. You know the comedian's punchlines. You've watched the magician mess up the same trick in the same spot 3 times. The ports? They start blending together. Caribbean islands become interchangeable rows of jewelry stores and tourist traps. Even historical cities lose their magic when you're rushed through on a schedule. That lobster dinner that felt luxurious on week 1, by month 2, you're craving a simple homemade sandwich. Anything different. Here's what nobody tells you. Cruise ships are designed for 7-day excitement, not permanent living. Every experience has a shelf life, and that shelf life is about 30 days. After that, the dream becomes Groundhog Day on water. One resident told me, "I used to get excited seeing dolphins. By month 6, I didn't even look up anymore. Nothing felt special. I was just existing." And when existence replaces excitement, that's when the depression creeps in. Point 5, the health disaster. Let's talk about what happens to your body, because this might be the scariest part of all. First, disease exposure. Every week, thousands of new passengers board from around the world, bringing whatever flu, cold, or stomach bug is trending back home. You're sharing buffets, elevators, and recycled air with all of them. Norovirus outbreaks, common, flu season, brutal, COVID. It ravaged cruise ships harder than almost anywhere else. And if you're living there permanently, you can't escape. You're in a petri dish with no way out. But here's the slower killer, your lifestyle. Unlimited buffets, endless desserts, cocktails at every hour, late-night pizza. It's designed to make you indulge, and most people do. The gym, usually tiny, crowded, and hard to use when the ship is rocking. One woman told me she tried using the treadmill during rough seas and nearly went through the window. Residents I've interviewed gained an average of 25 to 35 pounds in their first year. Not because they didn't care, but because the environment actively works against healthy living. And here's the terrifying part. If something serious happens, a heart attack, a stroke, a severe allergic reaction, that medical center on board isn't equipped for major emergencies. You'll need a medical evacuation. Cost? $50,000 to $100,000. And most insurance doesn't cover it. One heart attack could bankrupt you even if it doesn't kill you. Point 6, the legal nightmare. Now let's get into the logistical hell nobody prepares you for. Where do you pay taxes when you live at sea? What's your legal residence? How do you vote? How do you receive mail? How do you renew your driver's license? These aren't hypothetical questions. These are real problems that will hit you in the face. One couple spent $15,000 in legal fees trying to figure out their tax situation across 3 different countries. The IRS, the ship's flag country, and their original home state all wanted a piece. Health insurance? Most policies don't cover permanent cruise living. You'll need special expat coverage that costs $800 to $1,500 per month. And even then, coverage is limited. Prescriptions? You'll need to time port stops perfectly to refill them. Miss the port due to weather? You're out of luck. Hope it's not something critical like insulin or heart medication. Banking becomes a maze. Voting requires absentee ballots that often don't reach you in time. Even something as simple as renewing your passport requires flying back to your home country. And here's the kicker. The cruise line won't help you with any of this. You're completely on your own, navigating a legal system that wasn't designed for people who live at sea. Point 7, the crew divide. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. The invisible wall between you and the crew. At first you might feel friendly with them. The bartender remembers your drink. The room steward greets you by name. It feels warm, almost like family. But you're not family. You're not even friends. You're the customer. And they're working 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, sleeping in windowless cabins below deck that make your small room look like a palace. There are strict rules. Crew members can be fired for getting too friendly with passengers. Relationships are forbidden. Even casual friendships are discouraged. So, you exist in this weird limbo. You're not a tourist anymore, but you'll never be part of the ship's community either. You're stuck in between, belonging nowhere. And when you see crew members eating their basic meals in their restricted areas while you dine in luxury, the guilt starts eating at you. Or worse, you stop noticing entirely. And that's when you realize you've lost a piece of your humanity. Point 8. The fragile safety net. Here's something that keeps long-term residents up at night. Vulnerability. Cruise ships break down, plumbing fails, power goes out. Storms reroute entire itineraries, fires happen. Remember the Carnival Triumph in 2013? Passengers lived in sewage for days. For a week-long vacationer, it's a terrible story to tell. For someone living there, it's your entire world collapsing. You don't have a house to return to, no apartment, no backup plan. Your entire life is tied to this one vessel, and when it fails, you're stranded. One resident was stuck in port for 3 weeks due to engine failure. No refund, no alternative housing provided. Just waiting and watching thousands of dollars drain from their account for hotels they never planned to need. And here's the nightmare scenario. What if the cruise line goes bankrupt? It's happened before. Suddenly, you're homeless, in a foreign country, with no warning and no safety net. That constant underlying anxiety, never knowing if your home will simply disappear. That psychological weight is heavier than most people realize. Point 9. The breaking point. This brings us to the final dark truth. Burnout. It doesn't happen overnight. It's slow, creeping, subtle. First month, excitement. Everything is new. You're living the dream. Second month, still good, but the novelty is wearing off. Third month, you're noticing the repetition. By month 6, you're actively avoiding activities you once loved. You stop going to shows. You skip ports you've seen before. You eat the same 3 meals because trying new things feels exhausting. The dream becomes a grind, and the worst part? You don't even notice it happening. One day you just wake up and realize you're more tired than you've ever been. Not physically tired, soul tired. This is why most people quit within a year. Not because cruise living is impossible, but because the human psyche wasn't designed for this kind of existence. The permanent residents who survive, they're either wealthy enough to afford balcony suites and constant variety, or they've made peace with a smaller, quieter life than they ever imagined. Conclusion? So there it is. The untold dark side of cruise ship living. The hidden costs that multiply faster than you can track them. The claustrophobic cabins that become prisons. The social isolation disguised as community. The routine that replaces adventure. The health risks lurking in every buffet line and crowded elevator. The legal nightmares. The fragile safety net. And finally, the burnout that nobody sees coming. Does this mean you should never try it? No. Some people thrive in this lifestyle, but they're the exception, not the rule. Now, I want to hear from you. Would you ever consider living on a cruise ship full-time? Or does this dark side change everything? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this eye-opening, smash that like button and subscribe, because I'm pulling back the curtain on more dream lifestyles that aren't what they seem. Your next video is already queued up on screen. It goes even deeper into the hidden world of cruise ships, revealing secrets the industry doesn't want you to know. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes the dream looks better from the outside than it feels from the inside.